Good afternoon. Today we have a fresh overview of the situation in Gaza. After a week of fragile truce, clashes between Israel and Hamas are escalating again. We will tell you what happened, what positions the sides are taking, and what all this means for the future. No propaganda, just facts. Let's get started. A ceasefire was agreed on October 10, 2025, with mediation from the US, Egypt, and Qatar. On October 19th, Israel claims that 2 of its soldiers were attacked in the Rafah area. Israel said that the soldiers were killed during a combat clash with Hamas militants. In response, Israel carried out massive airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, including the southern and central parts. At least 20 strikes were reported. Gaza media outlets claim that since the start of the ceasefire, October 10th, Israel has already committed dozens of violations. According to the Gaza media office, there have been 47 incidents and 38 deaths. The ceasefire is suspended for a short time, then Israel announces its resumption, but with reservations. Israel also temporarily suspends humanitarian aid deliveries to Gaza, but later confirms that they will resume under pressure from the US. Benjamin Netanyahu stated in the Knesset, "We're exposing Hamas and demilitarizing Gaza, emphasizing that Israel demands the return of all hostages, the removal of Hamas control, and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the sector at a certain stage." The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, assert, "We were attacked, we are responding, we are prepared to strengthen the ceasefire, but only if the conditions are met." Israel has closed the Rafah border crossing until Hamas fulfills its obligation to return the bodies of the hostages. Hamas claims that it was not notified of the clash in Rafah and had no contact with militants in the area, emphasizing that the area is controlled by Israel and that we did not participate in the incident. Senior Hamas official Mohammed Nazal said in an interview, "We are ready for a 3 to 5 year ceasefire, but we cannot agree to the complete disarmament of Hamas until there is a broader Palestinian consensus." Hamas says it remains committed to the truce, but accuses Israel of constant violations and hindering efforts to return the bodies of hostages, citing destruction and mines under the rubble. The US president said, "Hamas must abide by the agreement. If they don't, we will act. They are either good or they will be destroyed." He noted that the truce is still in effect and that the case of the 2 dead soldiers requires investigation, possibly without the direct involvement of Hamas. The US is also pressuring Israel to resume humanitarian aid to Gaza and is mediating negotiations for the return of hostages and bodies.
Warrior.
And yet, as soon as you left, Hamas executed 7 people, and then they went on to execute 30 more.
Yeah.
Do you believe they really will disarm?
Well, they promised they would. They said they would. It's down that they would. Now, they said they were gang members, et cetera, you know. But these are very violent people. This is a very violent part of the world. Nobody's seen violence like this. If we have to, we'll disarm
The
them.
U.S.?
Well, whether it's me or the U.S. or it's, a proxy, could be Israel, with our backing. We won't have boots on the ground. There's no reason to.
In the past,
The ceasefire reached on October 10 provided for the cessation of hostilities, the lifting of the blockade, the release of hostages, the phased withdrawal of the Israeli occupation, and the disarmament of Hamas. The main sticking point is the disarmament of Hamas and the transfer of control of Gaza to a temporary technocratic administration. Hamas is not prepared to relinquish this control completely. The parties have different interpretations of who violated the ceasefire. Israel says there were attacks on its soldiers, retaliatory strikes. The Gaza authorities and Hamas say Israel is using minor clashes as a pretext for strikes and blockades. Humanitarian situation. The destruction is enormous. Thousands of bodies are under the rubble and aid is arriving intermittently. The ceasefire proved to be extremely fragile. The incident involving 2 soldiers could become a pretext for serious escalation. If Israel intensifies its strikes and blockade, civilians will die, international pressure will grow, and the risk of a humanitarian crisis will increase. This could lead to increased radicalization and an escalation of the situation. if Hamas fails to comply with the conditions for the return of hostages and disarmament. Israel may abandon the truce. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei said that the US failed to eliminate Iran's nuclear program during the airstrikes in June. Oh, keep dreaming. Who are you to dictate which countries can and cannot have a nuclear industry? He added. So the truce is still in place, but it's hanging by a thread. Israel, Hamas, and the US have different goals and conditions. For now, the Gaza Strip remains an area of unstable peace and possible escalation. We'll keep watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. What do you think? Will the truce hold, or will everything escalate? See you in the next episode.